Hi guys, it's Kelly here, back with another video. Today we're going to be using some Neat Tangled. This was from their July release, the Together set and the Modern Triangles cover plate. I'm also using the Together dies. So, pardon my manicure because I filmed this a minute ago. So, rocking the American flag manicure there. But so what I wanted to do was layer up this modern triangle. I really love patterns, but busy patterns kind of make me a little apprehensive on my cards. So what I decided I was going to do is use some Distress Oxides. I picked Fossilized Amber, Spiced Marmalade, and Worn Lipstick. And I'm working on Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And so I started with the Fossilized Amber and then went to the Spiced Marmalade, finishing off with the Worn Lipstick. And I'm leaving a good portion of it white. So I did this actually to 2 pieces of cardstock. And then, because it was just kind of, I don't know, I felt like it needed a little bit of something. So I took water, because water and Distress Oxides play so nice together, and I just used a number 2 round brush and kind of flicked some water onto the background. I didn't use a ton of water because I'm not working on watercolor paper. So once those were dry, I'm going to take one of these and run it through my Big Shot with this Modern Triangles cover plate. I also put a piece of fun foam, white fun foam, behind it to kind of make sure that I had really good pressure. And then I popped all the pieces out, was really happy with the way that it looked. But since I had already kind of cut that white fun foam, I thought it would be pretty cool to pop this up so it actually like cast a shadow. So I took all the little pieces parts that it cut out because they're all geometric shapes and would be totally cool on another card, and they're already blended, so that's easy. So I picked through, and I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit time consuming to get all the pieces parts out of the fun foam, but I think it was kind of worth the result. So I'm going to go in with my Tombow Mono Multi Glue, and I'm going to go over all those little lines. You could use a spray adhesive, but I sometimes don't get great adhesion with the spray adhesive, so I knew the Tombow Mono Multi Glue wouldn't let me down, and so I'm going to adhere that directly onto the fun foam so that it will pop up the die cut. If you didn't want to use the fun foam and take all that time, you could also achieve the same look by just cutting multiples of white cardstock and stacking them up. So once I had those two put together, I'm going to do the same thing and go all around with the Tombow Mono Multi Glue to adhere it to my actual card. And since it's the same colors, on top of the same colors, kind of like monochromatic, it isn't really super busy, and it kind of downplays that pattern, even though it still looks super interesting. So I love the way that it came out. The Together stamp set and die has where you can die cut the actual word together, or you can stamp it out of the stamp set. So I opted to stamp mine and then cut it out of that, use the die cut to cut it out. And then I'm just using a scrap piece of Simon Says Stamp black cardstock to make just a little label. So I treated it with my embossing bag to get rid of any of the static. And then I'm going to use a Versamark to stamp the At Last. And then I will heat set it with Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder. So this is just something, I mean, I'm sure you've seen me do it like 100 times because I love bold black with bright colors. So this banner is like my go-to if I need a way to add a smaller part of my sentiment. So I did that. I trimmed it down to just a little square label, and I'm going to adhere this down. Now, because it is a more intricate die, there was plenty of area to stick my sentiment to. I didn't have to worry that it wasn't going to stick. This part I kind of fussed around with a little bit. I wanted it to be, I guess, a little closer together, so I just scooched it over and it worked fine. And I just picked like a line that it was going to be able to stick to, that there would be enough to hold it. I used some of the, what are they? They're like iridescent sequins. This came in the Starry Night pack, which was released in July, but they actually just in August for their birthday, they just released a whole pack that was iridescent. So I will link to that as well as everything else in the YouTube description below, as well as on my blog. So shortest video ever. I totally feel like Laura Basson right now. I got ink blending in a 5-minute video, but that's it. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.